The worst thing you could do as an artist is listen to anyone's opinion outside of your own. Now, this doesn't include people who work on a project with you. They are exempt from the outside opinions thing because they're working with you on a project. And if you hired them, they will be willing to make changes as long as they're given in a timely manner while the project's still happening. If you complete the project and everything's been delivered, and then months and months and months later you want something changed, it may be a different story because essentially that project's done and paid for, and there could be a number of reasons why it can't be brought back to make changes. You could have changed your entire setup and now no longer use the same equipment and gear and everything else. So it would make it pretty much impossible to bring it back the same way. They'd have to essentially rebuild it and get it to sound like the other one, which more time, more effort, more everything. So prepare to pay more for that if you want. But ultimately, I want everyone to realize that that enables a terrible behavior. It enables the behavior of doubting yourself, making it where you are always going to make your happiness reliant on what other people say. That is ultimately the root of being miserable, being unhappy, and being a person that can never really value their own work. And the reason is when you rely on other people to give you something that you can't give to yourself, you're going to come up wanting every time, every single time, because everyone's life, their own personal life is the most important thing to them. So that means if they don't have that much time, they'll give you some flippant opinion. If they don't really, not only that, their opinion doesn't matter because they're focused on so many other things, not what you're doing, not how important your art is to you. So everything they have to say, no matter where they are in terms of further than you in the business or somebody whose opinion you really value or some successful, famous, whatever. If they're not willing to back you and put up money and, hire the person to work for, if they're not willing to invest, they don't really care. So whatever they're saying to you, it's not important. It shouldn't be. And the reason is because if you go through life needing their opinion to make your stuff completed, what are you going to do after you make the changes that person wanted you to make and now somebody else has other changes in the future? You think that won't happen? Why? You think everyone likes the same thing? Got news. They don't. If you sent your stuff out to 500,000 people, how many you think would like it or hate it? Well, the best work, the stuff that's amazing, is about liked and disliked, about split down the middle, 50-50. So what are you trying to say? That you can predict what the masses are going to love based on one or two or three people's opinions? You think you could roll the dice 3 times and say, well, if the dice came up that way 3 times, I know exactly what the next one's going to be, the next roll, and I'm going to bet my life on it. You'd be foolish to do that. And what I'm basically saying is, this doesn't come from me either. This is a Rick Rubin type philosophy that will help all creative people live their life in a happier way. The idea is you make a devotional act to the art, meaning you put yourself and everything you have into it, like most artists do who really care. That means your decision making at that moment when you decided to do whatever it was and the decisions you decided to make, those are the decisions that matter for that piece of art because you gave it your all. It's not an endless ongoing process for the rest of your life every time anybody says anything to have to address it and change your art. That wouldn't be good art. That would be art based on committee. That's ridiculous. The art is what you care about, what matters to you, and whoever you have working on it with you, you probably hired them because you like their work, you like the way they work with you on whatever. They've delivered great work in the past, so you trust them, or you should. Otherwise, don't hire them. But assuming you do trust them and there is a connection there where you think they also care as much as you do, that's all that should matter. You can't possibly take other people's opinions and change your art based on it. Because like I said, the sample size isn't great enough to really predict anything. So all you're really doing is saying, I can't be happy unless everyone likes my stuff. Let me tell you something that's extremely important. I know I've made a great video when I start getting comments from the haters. That's actually how I know that I hit one in a nice direction out of the park. I know I actually said something of value when the haters show up. Because if they don't show up, then whatever I said wasn't moving enough to hit enough people to get haters. Whereas as soon as you hit enough people, as soon as the thing you did is meaningful enough to reach enough people, all of a sudden you start getting haters. And I've seen it happen on my videos. So what I'm saying is, I look for that. I love it. As soon as I start seeing that, it makes me happy. It fuels me. Because all of a sudden now I know, must have said something right. Now that's the feeling you should experience whenever anyone comments negatively on your song or whatever you did, whatever part of the process, whether you mix, you're the artist, you're a producer, whatever you do. As soon as you start getting some haters, realize you finally hit enough people. You did something meaningful enough that someone wants to say something negative. That's actually a great thing. Because the thought that everyone in life is happy, we all know isn't true. We know there's many people that are sad. And some people that are sad just want to make you sad because they don't like that you're happy and they're not. That could be why they're hating. Some people just hate and want to tell you they don't like something. Boom, here you go. Okay. Either way, no matter what, you made them feel something. That works. Live with that. They could be like, man, I really like this, but the vocal is just a little low. Well, how does it make you feel because it's a little low? Does it make you want to lean in to hear it more? Does it make you feel a little uncomfortable that it's a little low? Yeah, that was the goal. Maybe that's the goal, man. Only you know what worked for you when you finished something. What decision-making went into whatever you did that created you to say, okay, I love it, I'm done. Because anybody who's not done, you keep working on it until it is. And that is how everyone who works on music works. We wait until there's a consensus. Okay, I like it, you like it, you like it, I like it. Good, we're done. And that's people that collaborate in any sense. Two artists collaborating together, or a producer and an artist, or a mixer and an artist. Like, mixer sends you their version, they like it, do you like it? Well, I love it. Okay, great, we're done. Right? I mean, that's how it should work. So the point is, whenever things, I used to be somebody who put out music very, very frequently. And I had something in me that would make it where everything I put out, a few months later, like 6 months, a year, I actually wouldn't like it anymore. And I realized all these years later that all that was, me not liking that stuff, was actually insecurity and me hating my past self. Basically, me not appreciating the fact that I tried my best at something and only appreciating an outcome, a potential success of an album reaching a certain amount of people telling me how great it was, the accolades, the hugs, the kisses. That's really what it is. You need a hug. You need a kiss. You need people to tell you you're great. You need something to prop you up to feel good. You need to actually give that to yourself. You cannot rely on other people to make you feel good. You have it within you to feel good. If you let yourself. And it starts by building the habits to let yourself. The habit being, don't doubt your decision making. Don't always think you need to go back in time and change something, and then maybe you would have a different outcome. If you did your best, you never have to worry about that. Because no matter what we do, no matter what job you do, if you're a mixer, You're going to send your stuff out sometimes, and some people won't respond for several days. It's just how it is. Then they might get back to you and tell you they liked it. Can we change this? They liked it, change nothing. They hate it. Everything under the sun is going to happen the longer you do something. And anybody who tells you that that's not true hasn't been doing it long enough, because that's how everything goes in life. People love it. They hate it. Nobody's opinion is always the same. You got to get used to that. And so I'm just trying to have you build the tools to be able to be in a position to live a happy life as an artist, as a creative, as a mixer. You're making stuff that's opinion-based. And your opinion is what's riding that. You're driving the ship. So as a result, you're riding the wave with your opinion every step of the way, and the whole way. You have to trust it, because everything that goes great in your life will be because you trusted your instincts and your opinion. Whereas if you trust other people, you will have not yourself to thank if anything ever goes great. You'll always doubt your own opinion. You'll be reliant on whoever else to make the decision for you. And it's like I said, it's like rolling dice. You think just because you get 3 numbers to come up, they're always going to be the same 3 numbers? You can't trust opinions other than yourself, because at least that's a repeatable process. And even that, there's no outcome that's guaranteed. So don't rely on the outcome. Put in everything you can, every piece of work you make, every single mix, every single piece of art that you put out, every song you write, everything you record, you give it your all every time. Then you rest easy. No matter how long it takes people to get back to you, or no matter what you don't get or you get, means nothing. And if you can live like that, you can live happy as an artist. And if you can't, you will be a sad, miserable person for a long, long time to come. Trust me. I know. All right? I don't think anything more needs to be said on this. But I do want to hear what you have to say, because I know this isn't one-sided, and I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who could probably give you their own stories and tales also, and I'm curious to hear what those are. All right? I read all the comments. Evan Jaffe, Custom Cut Studios. Like, subscribe. I appreciate it. You guys got this. Take it easy.